The integrity of your gut lining is essential to reducing the low-level chronic inflammation that so many women experience, and that is one of the primary root causes of many chronic conditions, from heart disease to cancer. But knowing that gut health is an important part of overall health and wellness, and knowing how to get there, are two very different things. My name is Stephanie Dunn. I'm a registered dietitian and the founder of Feed Your Intention. I guide women to nourish their wellness and to reclaim their wholeness. And today I want to talk to you about 4 things you can do to support a healthy gut lining and achieve that gut health that is so necessary for wellness throughout the body. Before we get into those 4 though, I want to give you a reminder about why a healthy gut matters. So your intestines are like a tube that separates what's in your digestive tract from your bloodstream. When that gut lining is compromised, you get what is known as a leaky gut. Well, that's what we like to call it locally. Its official name is intestinal hyperpermeability, because your intestines are always permeable, otherwise we couldn't absorb nutrients, but it's when they become hyperpermeable or too permeable that we experience problems. So now you've got this leaky gut, and that leaky gut allows undigested food particles and toxins and bacteria to get into your bloodstream. The immune system, which sits just on the other side of your intestines, gets triggered. And by that I mean it gets turned on. So now your immune system is in a reactive state, and it is in this low level simmering that is what chronic inflammation is. The intestines are now leaking, and the immune system is getting triggered over and over again every time you eat, take a medication, drink a beverage. The goal is to reestablish the integrity of the gut lining, to close it up so that things that aren't supposed to get into the bloodstream don't. Now, if you want more information about what leaky gut is, how it develops, and what happens afterward, check out my videos here on YouTube related to leaky gut. I will link them in the description below so that you can't miss them. Now, back to the topic of this video. Here are 4 areas where you can focus that will help reduce the permeability of your gut lining and reestablish this critical barrier between our digestive tract and the immune system. So the first one is to establish a nourishing food foundation. The food that you eat actually impacts the integrity of the gut lining as well as the microbiome that lives there. So specifically, a wide variety of colorful plant foods, adequate fiber, and minimizing ultra-processed foods creates the conditions for a healthy gut lining. As well, taking in healthy fats can also make a difference to the integrity of your gut lining. And once you have that, everything else builds on top of that. The second thing is to recognize and learn to manage unnecessary stress. Okay, look, I know stressful events happen to all of us, and I'm not asking you to be toxically positive or delusional about the circumstances, either in your immediate environment or in our global environment. However, chronic stress directly compromises the gut barrier, and it shifts your microbiome toward bacterial strains that promote inflammation. So while experiencing these stressful events is not avoidable, learning how to manage our stress through all sorts of tools that might be available, whether that's talk therapy or yoga, meditation, breathing exercises, all of this is part of achieving and maintaining gut health. It is not separate from it. The third thing is to be thoughtful about what disrupts your microbiome consistently. What I mean by that is your microbiome is the population of bacteria and other microbes that live in your digestive tract. And when they are in a healthy balance, our bodies actually benefit from them in many, many ways. However, there are things that we do that disrupt them, meaning it can kill them off. It can cause unhelpful versions to grow more and in greater populations than we want them to. So by being thoughtful about certain things, we can support a healthy microbiome. So the first one is being thoughtful about your use of antibiotics. Yes, antibiotics are necessary sometimes, but unnecessary antibiotic use shifts your microbiome toward an unhealthy balance. As well, chronic NSAID use can break down the gut lining. So if you aren't aware, NSAIDs are pain-reducing medications like ibuprofen and aspirin, and they can specifically break down the lining of the gut themselves. And as mentioned in the very first point about diet, a diet that is composed of a lot of highly processed foods takes a toll over time by shifting the microbiome towards an unhealthy mix of bacterial strains. And finally, I know it may seem like the exact right answer to simply throw a probiotic in the mix of all of this. However, you need to be thoughtful about your use of probiotics also, because if you already have an imbalance in your gut microbiome, adding a probiotic could actually make it worse rather than make it better. Now, I know you can't stay away from everything that could possibly disrupt your microbiome, so the goal here isn't perfection. It's about consistently being aware of how what you are putting into your body could be impacting the beneficial microbes that live in your gut. So the fourth thing that you can do in order to help yourself achieve a healthy gut lining is that if you've been living with chronic digestive symptoms for a long time, whether that's bloating, constipation, chronic diarrhea, or literally just discomfort after more than just the occasional meal, consider working with someone who will look at the full picture. There are so many different possible root causes for why the gut health is not as healthy as we want it to be, and a qualified practitioner can help you figure out what's going on in your gut and how that reality of your gut health might be causing the symptoms you are experiencing in other parts of your body. Because the reality is that gut health doesn't exist in isolation, and neither do its consequences. So those are 4 things that you can do to help improve your gut health starting even today. Remember, small, consistent changes make a meaningful difference. We are not looking for perfection. We are looking for consistency and small changes. Now, next week, I'm going to go even deeper into where chronic inflammation leads. And this is especially impactful for women who are in midlife, because I want you to nourish your wellness and reclaim your wholeness just like you deserve.